Hello, my name is Anfisa, and today I'm presenting my video research dissertation project titled Female Gaze on the Objectification of Women in 2022 2024 Films, Viewing the Substance, Blink Twice, Don't Worry Darling, and Fresh through the prism of cognitive estrangement. First, I briefly outline the key concepts I use in this research. Laura Mulvey introduced the term male gaze drawing on Freud's psychoanalysis. She describes how women are positioned as passive objects for the active gaze of men. Later, feminist scholars like Joy Soloway expand this idea into the understanding of female gaze. For the concept of novum and cognitive estrangement, I use Darko Suvin's definition. Suvin explains that a novum is a phenomenon that deviates from the reader's or viewer's normal reality and therefore creates a sense of cognitive estrangement. For objectification, I use Martha Nussbaum's definition. She argues that objectification happens when a human being is treated as an object, and she defines several forms through which this process occurs. The issue of women's objectification remains extremely relevant in 2025. Objectification appears in many forms: the pornography and prostitution industries, sexism in advertising, sexual exploitation, high levels of violence against women, and persistent harmful stereotypes about women's roles in society. Because the problem still exists, it is important to analyze how these films represent such issues. There is already research on the male and female gaze, objectification, and cognitive estrangement. There are also studies on some related films. And the key theorists I rely on include Laura Mulvey, Darko Suvin, Martha Nussbaum, Andrea Dworkin, Catherine McKinnon, Bell Hooks, David Bordwell, Andre Bazin, and Edward Small. However, there is still a research gap, which I explain next. Culturally, this topic is important because objectification continues to shape women's experiences in society. Academically, there is a clear gap. No one has applied Suvin's concept of cognitive estrangement to analyze women's objectification, especially in horror or psychological thrillers. Because of that, there is space to use this framework to offer new insights and new ways of understanding representation. My project asks three main questions. How can cognitive estrangement be used to analyze the objectification of women in modern cinema? How do female directors represent and critique objectification through the female gaze? How do films in different genres use narrative and visual strategies to comment on objectification? My aims are to apply cognitive estrangement theory, to extend this theory beyond science fiction, and to examine how female directors construct a female gaze when depicting objectification. This should introduce a new perspective into the existing academic debates. All the films that I have chosen have a clear novum and create cognitive estrangement through this novum. They are directed by women and present a female perspective on objectification. Fresh is a horror film where the novum is a man who calmly kidnaps women and sells their flesh, believing he is justified. Don't Worry Darling presents a world created by men where women live inside a simulated reality without their consent. Blink Twice uses a psychological thriller setting where the protagonist is taken to an isolated environment and drugged in order to be controlled. The Substance uses body horror to show a monster that represents a patriarchal beauty norm. Each film adds a unique angle to the research. My approach is qualitative. I use visual analysis through semiotics and narrative methods through textual analysis. I also use video essay analysis as a tool for understanding the films and as a format for presenting my dissertation. This follows Edward Small's direct theory, which suggests that a theory of film can itself be expressed as a film only. So far, I have developed my topic, created research question, explored the cultural and academic context, and also I have gained skills in video essay production from previous courses and attended workshops on different types of analysis. This helped me justify my case studies clearly. Tutor feedback helped me to improve the project by narrowing the scope, strengthening my definitions, practicing Harvard references, and justifying my film choices. Peer feedback highlighted the relevance of feminist theory and the importance of studying stereotypes and representation in horror, which encouraged me to keep developing this research. My next steps are to read more literature, watch more video essays on similar topics, write the script, continue developing and editing the video dissertation. My media set is shown here. I will be using all of those audiovisual materials through the fair dealing policy. And here you can see my references and asset list. Thank you so much for your attention, and if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them.